Hidden away in the folds of time, Europe is a treasure trove of secret villages, each with its own story etched into cobblestone streets and ancient walls. Imagine wandering through a place where the air is filled with the scent of blooming lavender and the sound of distant laughter. What if I told you that some of these enchanting spots are so well kept that even seasoned travelers often overlook them? Picture yourself exploring a village where every corner reveals an Instagram-worthy view, and locals greet you like family. Ever wondered what it feels like to sip coffee in a quaint cafe that seems untouched by the modern world? Each village has its own charm, waiting for you to step off the beaten path and discover its hidden marvels. As we delve deeper, keep your eyes peeled for those little details, the vibrant colors of the houses, the unique architecture, and the stories behind them. What secrets do these villages hold? Stay tuned, because each gem we explore will pull you further into a world where time stands still and beauty is found in the simplicity of life. Ready to uncover these hidden wonders? Let's embark on this journey together. Albarracin, Spain. I remember the first time I set foot in Albarracin. It felt like stepping into a storybook. The narrow, winding streets were lined with quaint houses, all painted in soft shades of pink that seemed to glow under the Spanish sun. The moment I arrived, I was captivated by the charm of this medieval village. As I strolled through the cobblestone pathways, I couldn't help but feel like I had traveled back in time to an era where life was slower and simpler. The architecture in Albarracin is nothing short of breathtaking. The blend of Romanesque and Moorish influences creates a unique aesthetic that's hard to find elsewhere. I spent hours wandering, taking in the intricate details of the doorways and windows. Each turn led me to another picturesque scene, whether it was a small plaza filled with blooming flowers or a panoramic view of the surrounding hills. It was as if every corner had been designed for a postcard. What struck me most was the sense of history that permeated the air. I learned about the castle that looms over the village, a remnant of the past that offers stunning views of the landscape. Climbing up to the castle, I could almost hear the whispers of the people who once walked those same paths. The history of Albarracin felt alive, and I was merely a visitor in its long narrative. I also indulged in the local cuisine, which was a delightful experience. The flavors of traditional Spanish dishes burst in my mouth, especially the savory ham and rich cheeses. Dining at a small cafe while overlooking the scenic vistas made the meal feel like a celebration. It was a perfect way to immerse myself in the local culture, surrounded by fellow travelers and friendly locals who seemed to embody the spirit of the village. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden hue over Albarracin, I found a quiet spot to sit and reflect. The peaceful ambience was intoxicating, and I felt a deep sense of gratitude for having discovered such a hidden gem. It's places like this that remind me of the beauty and simplicity of life, and I left with a heart full of memories and a promise to return. Gimmelwald, Switzerland. Gimmelwald is one of those places that feels like it's been plucked straight from a postcard. The moment I arrived, I was greeted by the majestic Alps towering in the background, their snow-capped peaks glistening against the clear blue sky. This picturesque alpine village, tucked away in the mountains, instantly stole my heart. It's a haven for nature lovers and adventure seekers alike, and I couldn't wait to explore. The charm of Gimmelwald lies in its simplicity. I wandered along the narrow trails that meandered through the village, surrounded by lush green meadows dotted with wildflowers. The air was crisp and refreshing, invigorating my spirit. Each step revealed breathtaking views, making it impossible to resist stopping for countless photos. I felt a sense of peace enveloping me, as if the mountains were cradling the village in their embrace. One of my favorite experiences was hiking in the surrounding areas. There's something exhilarating about trekking through the mountains, with the sound of my footsteps echoing in the quiet. The trails ranged from leisurely walks to more challenging hikes, and every path led to stunning vistas that took my breath away. Standing at the edge of a cliff, overlooking valleys and distant peaks, I felt a profound connection to nature and an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the beauty of the world. The local hospitality added another layer of warmth to my visit. I found myself in a cozy mountain lodge, where I was greeted by the aroma of homemade Swiss cheese and fresh bread. Sharing stories with fellow travelers over a hearty meal was a highlight of my trip. The laughter and camaraderie created a sense of belonging, as if we were all part of a larger adventure, united by our love for travel and exploration. As the day came to a close, I watched the sun dip behind the mountains, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. Gimmelwald transformed into a magical place, with the soft glow of lanterns illuminating the village. I realized that this little corner of Switzerland had captured my heart, and I promised myself that I would return to experience its magic once again. Ronda, Spain. Ronda is a place that simply takes your breath away. The moment I arrived in this historic town, I was struck by the magnificent Punta Nuevo, the bridge that spans the deep gorge, connecting the old and new parts of the city. Standing on the bridge, I looked down at the rushing waters of the Guadalquivir River and marveled at the sheer cliffs that surrounded me. It was one of those moments where I felt small in the grand scheme of things, yet so alive in the beauty of it all. Exploring Ronda was like peeling back layers of history. The architecture tells stories of its past, from the Roman remains to the Moorish influences that shaped the town. I wandered through the narrow streets, discovering hidden gems around every corner. The old town is filled with charming plazas, each with its unique character, and I took my time soaking it all in. It was a delight to lose myself in the labyrinth of alleys, each turn revealing a new perspective of this stunning place. One of the highlights of my visit was the Plaza de Toros, one of the oldest bullrings in Spain. I was fascinated by the history and culture surrounding bullfighting, a tradition that is deeply ingrained in Ronda's identity. Walking through the museum and learning about the art and passion behind the sport gave me a newfound appreciation for the local customs. The bullring itself was a striking sight, and I could almost feel the energy of the crowds that once gathered there. The food in Ronda was another adventure in itself. I indulged in traditional Andalusian dishes, savoring flavors that danced on my palate. Tapas were a must, and I enjoyed sampling an array of local delicacies. Sitting at a cafe with a glass of local wine while overlooking the stunning landscape felt like a dream. The combination of good food, great company, and beautiful views made for an unforgettable experience. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over Ronda, I found a quiet spot to reflect. The town illuminated in the golden light felt magical, and I couldn't help but feel grateful for the moments I had experienced. Ronda had carved a special place in my heart, and I knew that I would carry the memories of its beauty and history with me long after I left. Civita di Bagner Egeo, Italy. Civita di Bagner Egeo is often referred to as the dying town, and as I approached this enchanting village perched atop a hill, I couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder. The dramatic landscape around it is breathtaking, with steep cliffs and sweeping views of the Tiber Valley. Walking across the long footbridge that leads to the village, I felt a mix of excitement and anticipation. I was about to step into a living history. Once inside, I was captivated by the medieval architecture that seems almost frozen in time. The narrow streets, lined with stone houses adorned with flowers, exude a charm that is hard to resist. Every corner I turned revealed another picturesque scene, and I found myself stopping frequently to take photos. The quiet ambience was soothing, and it felt like I had escaped the hustle and bustle of the modern world. Exploring Civita di Bagner Egeo's rich history was a highlight of my visit. I learned about the village's struggles against erosion and the efforts to preserve its unique character. The locals take immense pride in their home, and I was fortunate to meet some who shared stories of their ancestors and the traditions that have been passed down through generations. It was inspiring to see how a community can come together to protect its heritage. One of the best parts of my day was enjoying the local cuisine. I found a charming trattoria where I indulged in homemade pasta and local wines, all while soaking in the views from the terrace. The flavors were rich and comforting, and I savored every bite, sharing a meal with fellow travelers while overlooking the stunning landscape, made for a truly memorable experience. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden hue over Civita di Bagner Egeo, I felt a sense of tranquility wash over me. The village seemed to glow in the fading light, and I took a moment to absorb the beauty around me. Civita di Bagner Egeo had captured my heart with its charm and history. And I knew that this magical place would linger in my memories for years to come. Hallstatt, Austria. Imagine waking up on a peaceful morning, the sun slowly rising over the mountains, and you're in Hallstatt, a village that seems to have come straight out of a fairy tale. The wooden houses, with their decorated facades, reflect on the crystal-clear lake, creating an image so perfect that it almost seems unreal. The place is so picturesque that it's easy to understand why it has become one of the most photographed destinations in the world. The air is fresh, and the silence is broken only by the gentle lapping of waves against the anchor boats. As you walk through the narrow streets, it feels like you're traveling back in time. Every corner reveals a new view, a different perspective of the mountains surrounding the village. I must mention the feeling of being enveloped by nature. It's as if the mountains and the lake are engaged in an eternal dance. Hallstatt is also known for its rich heritage, including salt mining that dates back thousands of years. Visiting the salt mine is a fascinating experience that connects you to the deep history of this place. With each step, you discover something new. The small shops selling local crafts and typical products, like the famous Hallstatt salt, are irresistible. You can't help but try one of the traditional sweets in one of the many bakeries. I felt like a true explorer, uncovering the hidden secrets of this enchanting place. And, of course, I must mention the breathtaking mountain scenery that surrounds you. It is simply awe-inspiring. The lake is also a highlight. Rowing a boat or even taking a stroll along its shores is a calming experience. The sunlight reflecting on the water creates a spectacle of colors that changes every moment. You can easily lose track of time here, absorbing the beauty around you. As the day comes to a close, the sunset paints the sky in shades of orange and pink, making the scene even more magical. If you're looking for a place to disconnect and reconnect with nature, Hallstatt is definitely the perfect spot. It's a haven that offers tranquility and beauty in abundance. I left not only with photographs, but also with memories that I will cherish forever. Bled, Slovenia. Bled. If you've ever dreamed of a fairy tale destination, this is it. As soon as I arrived, the first thing that caught my attention was Lake Bled, with its vibrant turquoise blue color. In the middle of the lake, there is a small island that houses a charming church, and in the background, Bled Castle stands majestically on the hill. It's a scene worthy of any story you heard in your childhood. What really impressed me was the opportunity to explore the lake. I rented a pletna, a traditional boat, and went to the island. The ride was relaxing, and the feeling of being surrounded by mountains and nature was simply indescribable. Upon arriving on the island, I climbed the steps that lead to the church and made a wish at the famous bell. They say that if you ring the bell, your wish will come true. I don't know if that's true, but it didn't hurt to try. After visiting the island, I went to explore the castle. The view from the castle is breathtaking. You can see the entire lake and the surrounding mountains. The history of the castle is fascinating, and the indoor exhibitions offer a glimpse into life in medieval Slovenia. As I walked along its walls, I felt a connection with the past, as if I were living a part of history. Bled is also famous for its delicious cream cake called kremšnita. There's no way you can visit Bled and not try this delicacy. I found a pastry shop on the lake's edge and couldn't resist ordering a slice. The combination of the crispy crust with the smooth cream is simply divine. It made me realize that Bled is not just a visual destination, but also a treat for the palate. As night fell, the city lights began to shine, reflecting on the lake's water. The atmosphere became magical, and I couldn't help but feel grateful for being in such a beautiful place. Bled is a destination that leaves a mark on your heart, and it's definitely a place I would visit again. Piran, Slovenia. Piran is one of those cities that make you feel like you stepped into a painting. The cobblestone streets are adorned with Venetian architecture, and every corner seems to tell a story. As soon as I set foot in Piran, I was immediately captivated by the vibrant atmosphere, and the sea breeze carried with it the salty scent of the Adriatic. It's no wonder that many consider Piran one of the most charming coastal towns in Slovenia. One of the first places I visited was Tertini Square, the beating heart of the city. It's a place where street performers entertain and tourists gather to admire the beauty around. The statue of Giuseppe Tartini, a famous composer, dominates the square and around it. Cafes and shops offer the perfect place to relax. I sat at one of the cafes, savoring an espresso while watching life go by. It was a simple experience, but so rich in flavor and culture. Exploring the streets of Pyron is a true delight. Every corner I turned led me to a new discovery. Small art galleries, souvenir shops, and restaurants offering fresh seafood dishes. I went to a small seaside restaurant and ordered a seafood risotto, which was absolutely delicious. The freshness of the ingredients and the passion in the preparation were evident in every bite. The sunset in Pyron is a spectacle in itself. I climbed up to St. George's Church, which sits on a high point of the town, to get a panoramic view of the sea and the city. As I looked at the horizon, with the sky tinged in orange and pink, I realized that moments like this are the ones that remain etched in memory. The sound of the waves crashing on the rocks below, and the gentle breeze made everything even more special. Pyron is a place that combines history, culture, and natural beauty in a way that few cities can. I felt that every step I took there was a journey through time, and it left me with a deep appreciation for this incredible destination. If you have the chance to visit, don't hesitate. It's a place that will certainly touch your heart. Rocamadour, France. Rocamadour is one of those places that feels almost otherworldly. Perched dramatically on a cliffside, the village seems to defy gravity. Walking through the narrow streets, you can't help but feel like you stepped back in time. The stone buildings, many of which date back to the medieval era, have a charm that simply captivates. As I strolled through the winding pathways, I found myself entranced by the beauty surrounding me. The views from the cliff were nothing short of breathtaking, with the valley stretching out below me, dotted with lush greenery. One of the main attractions of Rocamadour is its sanctuary, dedicated to the Virgin Mary. It's an important pilgrimage site, and as I approached the basilica, I could sense the spiritual energy that enveloped the place. The architecture is a stunning blend of Romanesque and Gothic styles, and the intricate details of the carvings and altars left me in awe. I couldn't resist taking a moment to soak it all in, standing quietly as others around me offered their prayers, each lost in their own thoughts. The journey to Rocamadour is just as remarkable as the destination itself. The winding roads leading up to the village are lined with picturesque landscapes that seemed to change with every turn. As I drove, I felt a sense of anticipation building, eager to discover what lay ahead. Once I arrived, the sight of the village clinging to the cliff took my breath away. It was as if I had stumbled upon a hidden gem, one that had managed to escape the passage of time. Exploring Rocamadour was a delight for my senses. The vibrant colors of the flowers in bloom contrasted beautifully with the warm tones of the stone buildings. I wandered into small shops selling local crafts and delicacies, and I couldn't resist sampling the famous Roquefort cheese. The creamy texture and bold flavor were a perfect match for the rustic bread I had picked up earlier. Each bite was a reminder of the rich culinary traditions that thrive in this region. As the sun began to set, the village transformed. The soft golden light bathed everything in a warm glow, enhancing the magical atmosphere. I settled onto a bench overlooking the valley, feeling the tranquility of the moment wash over me. Rocamadour isn't just a place to visit. It's an experience that lingers in your memory long after you leave. Kotor, Montenegro. Kotor is a hidden paradise that captivates with its dramatic scenery and rich history. Nestled between towering mountains and a stunning fjord, the town is surrounded by natural beauty that feels almost surreal. As I arrived, I was immediately struck by the impressive fortifications that hug the mountainside. Walking through the ancient city walls, I felt like I was retracing the steps of countless travelers who had come before me, each leaving a mark on this remarkable place. The architecture in Kotor is a beautiful mix of Venetian and medieval styles, and I found myself wandering through the narrow streets, soaking in the atmosphere. Each building tells a story, and I could almost hear the echoes of the past as I strolled along. The quaint squares, with their charming cafes and shops, invited me to pause and appreciate the surroundings. I enjoyed a cup of strong Montenegrin coffee while watching the world go by, feeling a sense of connection to this vibrant community. One of the highlights of my visit was climbing up to the fortress of San Giovanni. The hike was certainly a challenge, but the views from the top were worth every step. As I looked out over the bay, I felt a sense of accomplishment and awe. The landscape, with its turquoise waters and rugged mountains, was breathtaking. It was a reminder of nature's power and beauty, and I found myself reflecting on the experiences that have shaped my own life. Kotor's vibrant culture is evident in its lively festivals and traditions. During my stay, I was fortunate enough to witness a local celebration, complete with traditional music and dance. The energy was infectious, and I couldn't resist joining in, laughing and dancing with new friends I had made along the way. It was moments like this that reminded me of the joy of travel, the connections we make, and the memories we create. As the day came to a close, I explored the waterfront promenade, where I enjoyed a leisurely stroll as the sun dipped below the horizon. The reflection of the colorful buildings in the water created a picture-perfect scene. Kotor is more than just a destination. It's a place that stays with you, a treasure trove of experiences waiting to be discovered. Gjirokastër, Albania. Gjirokastër is a town that feels like a well-kept secret, rich in history and charm. As I wandered through the cobbled streets, I was immediately enchanted by the unique architecture characterized by its stone houses with slate roofs. Many of these buildings date back to the Ottoman period, and it was fascinating to see how the past has shaped the town. The air felt thick with history, and I could almost visualize the stories that unfolded within those walls. One of the most striking features of Gjirokastër is its fortress, which looms majestically above the town. As I climbed up to the fortress, the views were absolutely stunning. From there, I could see the entire valley stretching out before me, with the Drino River winding its way through the landscape. Exploring the fortress itself was an adventure, with its ancient walls and intriguing exhibits that tell the story of the region's past. As I wandered further into the town, I discovered the vibrant market filled with local crafts and produce. The friendly vendors welcomed me with warm smiles, eager to share their stories and products. I sampled local delicacies, including delicious pastries and traditional dishes that showcase the rich culinary heritage of Albania. Each bite was a celebration of flavors, and I found myself wishing I could take the recipes home with me. The people of Gjirokastër are a highlight of the experience. Their hospitality is unmatched, and I felt a genuine warmth from everyone I encountered. I spent an afternoon chatting with locals at a cafe, where they shared stories about their lives and the significance of their town. It was comforting to know that despite the challenges they face, there is a strong sense of community and pride in their heritage. As my time in Gjirokastër came to an end, I reflected on how much this town had offered me, from its breathtaking landscapes to its rich history and welcoming people. It was a place that felt alive with stories. Gjirokastër is not just a destination, it is a journey into the heart of Albania, a place that invites you to explore and connect with its past. As we wrap up our journey through these stunning secret villages, I can't help but wonder which one captured your heart the most. Was it the enchanting charm of a hidden gem tucked away in the mountains? Or perhaps the vibrant colors of a coastal village that stole the show? Each of these destinations holds stories and experiences waiting just for you. Imagine wandering through cobblestone streets, savoring local delicacies, and immersing yourself in the culture of a place that feels like stepping back in time. Europe is full of these treasures, and I encourage you to seek them out. Which village would you add to your travel bucket list? And hey, have you ever stumbled upon a hidden spot that took your breath away? Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's create a community of adventurers eager to explore the lesser-known wonders of our world. Before you go, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this exploration, and subscribe for more incredible journeys. Remember, the world is vast and full of surprises. Let's discover them together. Where will our next adventure take us? Stay curious, and until next time, keep exploring.